Oh, YouTube. What's up? Hello, America. Hello, the ones that love freedom and constitutional rights. Yeah, I seen an article that says Americans are fearing a terrorist attack. Then I stumbled across an article that said pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine students are taking over a college building and demanding food now because they took over this building, but they didn't think about food and water. So we're actually under attack. This country is under attack with liberalism. This country is under attack with all this BS that's going on. But I don't think people's taking that into effect. They ain't taking it into their mind, and they ain't thinking about it. They ain't. See, these liberal, pro-Hamas, George Soros paid protesters that have no brains for themselves. They're just thinking about the money, or they're thinking about some agenda that they don't even understand. Seen one girl said she got a PhD in what? Liberal science? Basket weaving? What? So you sit there and listen to these people that supposedly have these PhDs, these college degrees, and all this, and you sit back and you go, really? You got a PhD? Seriously? Huh. Imagine that. What is your PhD in? Being stupid? Well, good grief, man. All these cities that are Democratic run, they're looking like third world countries. The Oakland and Philadelphia and Chicago and Milwaukee and all that. And New Orleans and a bunch of them. They're all under attack by the Democratic Party. The party that started the KKK and all this evil. They started all this evil. So, actuality, yes, we're at war. This is an ideology war. It's an internet war. People on the internet, because it's propaganda. They're using the internet to push propaganda. So yeah, we're at war. And people need to wake up. What's happening at these colleges will end up happening here in small town, rural America. What's happening around the world eventually will make its way here. Everybody says, oh, we're fine. We're far enough out. No one. It might take a couple years to get to us. May take 6 months. May take next week. We don't know. See, that's the issue. These people think that they're safe in these gated communities or these little communities like this. They're safe. They're fine. We know what's going on. Great. So you think you're safe. Well, just because life is going hunky-dory doesn't mean it's going to continue that way. Look at these tornadoes. It completely devastated how many people's lives? 100 and whatever in 72 hours. Look at the fires, the wildfires here. In the panhandle of Texas. How many lives did that devastate? How many cows died in that? How many other animals died in that? These people are pushing climate change, and they're pushing, let's save the world, save the earth. These college students. But yet, when they go to protest, they're the first one to destroy the whole area that they go to, and they leave garbage. Tons and tons and tons and tons of garbage. What was it? The pipeline protest that was on that reservation a while back. What, a couple years, five or 6 years ago, whatever it was. After the Native Americans looked at it, they was like, crap, man, we got to clean up your crap now. How many tons of garbage was left? And I'm talking stuff that could have still been used, but they just ended up throwing it in the landfill. Thanks. Let's destroy the world some more with your protest. Good job. Climate change. Yep. Right on. And then you got all this law enforcement that's destroying our freedom. They don't even understand what laws they're enforcing anymore. So you sit back and you watch them. They're destroying families. CPS. Trump train. CPS. How many kids have they lost track of? But yet they keep going up to families, law-abiding families' homes, and trying to steal the kids out of these law-abiding family homes. How many kids have ended up into sex trafficking because of CPS? How many people ended up dead because of ATF? You realize that those three-letter organizations that are run by the government are nothing but serial killers or traffickers or drug dealers. DEA. How many drugs has the DEA put back on the street because they want to do investigative purposes? Or the CIA has put onto the streets. CIA is the biggest drug pushers in the United States. They've been pushing drugs and guns and propaganda in the black community, or in all communities actually, but the black community for sure, because they're trying to destroy it. The nucleus family, Planned Parenthood, run by the government, was actually designed to destroy the nucleus family. Well, you see the results of the nucleus family being destroyed. You got all these protesters that have no structures. They got this sense of entitlement and this sense of, I can do whatever the fuck I want and you can't do nothing about it. And then you got these DAs that are running from the police because they choose, because of their position, not to listen to the police. You got these law enforcement officers that think they're above the law, or their qualified immunity sets them above the law, and hey, qualified immunity, they're fine. But how many cops are being prosecuted every year? I hate to say it sometimes, but if a law enforcement officer messes with me, I'm going to go after his money, his income, and I'm going to go after his home, his car. I'm going to go after his bond. The thing that makes him money. See, you got to hold government accountable. You got to hold these pro-Palestine Antifa morons. That's who it is. It's the Antifa. They just changed their collars. And they changed their whatever, what they stand for. That's all they did. It just changed. They ain't dressing in black anymore, really, too much. I mean, there's a few that still do, but really, they're just dressing looking like Hamas now. And they're promoting terrorism. They're saying that Hamas will love the homosexuals and the gays. Yeah, they'll love them right off the roof. It's funny how many of these anti-gun people can't understand why we want our guns. I talk to people on live stream all the time from England and Australia and everywhere else. And they said, why do you want to keep your guns? Because I don't want to be like you fools, being overrun by Muslims and Islam and everybody forcing me to do whatever, and I just got to bow down and kiss their ass. I'm sorry, I don't want to be like you. I want to be that person that stands up and be that person that says, hey, I want to live the way I want to live. Leave me the fuck alone. So you sit back and you watch all this stuff. Overseas in England, they have these prayer sessions where the English people are being forced to accept the Muslim and the Islam faith. Or faith. No, I won't. I won't give up God. Because Islam and Muslim bullshit religion is just the same as the Catholic religion. It's just, I mean, it's the same thing, actually, if you actually look into it. Basically, it's a religion that's forcing you to take their ideology and their beliefs that's not based off of Jesus Christ. And they're saying, hey, you better take it, because if you don't, we're going to kill you. Or we're going to shun you. Or we're going to make it so that your life is hard. Well, if you look at the Catholic religion, that's a pedophile cult. It is. Tell me, how many priests have been caught committing pedophilia in the Catholic religion? They've been essaying those children, you know, idol boys or whatever they call them. How many times do you look at the idols that the Catholic Church, how many idols does the Catholic Church have in their church? How many idols do they, of gold, do they push onto you? Can you go in the basement of those places and see how many idols are actually in the basement? You know, the archives of the Catholic Church actually is one of the greatest archives of old written manuscripts. Why don't they want you to read it? The average person to know it or read it. Because if they did, it would destroy their religion. It would tell the truth that they are nothing but a bloodlusting pedophile cult. Same thing with Islam. They don't want you to understand Islam or Muslims. Because if they did, they would understand, you would understand that it didn't come about until what, 500 to 900 years after Jesus? So if it came after, then how do you justify it being a religious cult that is for good? See, any church that promotes any kind of evil, you had that pastor that was doing a striptease show, swallowing swords and all that, in the church. Well, shoot, that's not a church of God. I'm telling you. Well, you see all these homosexuality and this lesbianism and then this transgender and all this other BS being pushed on our kids. And you sit back and watch it, and you see that law enforcement is not being taught law. They're not being taught constitutional rights. They're not being taught freedom. They're not being taught our liberties either. They don't understand liberties. They don't understand constitutional rights and freedom. And yet these pro-police people, they're pro-blue line, you never hear them talk about the cops that get arrested on a weekly basis. How many cops in 1 week get arrested across the country every week? I don't know. I'm telling you, there's a lot. How many of them actually violate people's rights and their freedom they go into the house because the ex-girlfriend says that she has stuff there when she really doesn't. She doesn't even live there. But yet they allow her to kick in the door and they stand there. So actuality, how many cops allow criminality right in front of them and refuse to do their job? That's called dereliction of duty. That's called not doing your job. Imagine that. How many police officers are politically controlled? All of them. They're run by the government. So they're all political controlled. So yet, they say, oh, we're just following orders. Whose orders are you following? The same thing with the protesters. They just say, oh, we're following orders. Whose orders? Who told you to come out here and hold this sign or support pro-Hamas or Palestine or Israel even? Because I don't agree with Israel either. Because Israel has turned their back on Jesus. I don't agree with Ukraine or any of them. I'm the guy that looks at it at plain common sense. Common sense says that if it's not for the good of people, and we're dumping our tax dollars into it, what good is it bringing out of it? None. Oh wow, imagine that. So you're sitting there watching this, and our tax dollars are going overseas for what? To carry on a forever war? Trump was trying to keep us out of these wars that he knew would be forever wars. We need to separate ourselves from these big corporations, military grade corporations, Boeing and all these BlackRock controlled or Vanguard controlled organizations, or World Economic Forums or Health Forum controlled organizations. Or NATO, UN, get rid of all of them. Because we need to take care of America first. Turn America around. Take all these illegals and dump them back where they came from. Africans. How are Africans going through Mexico? There is no way, unless they're flying into Mexico or coming on a ship and then getting dropped off and then coming through. It's like the Chinese that came through the border. How the hell did they get over here? Brand new bags, these designer bags and all this brand new equipment. We need to round them up and ship them home. Drop them off in China, say there's one way you're going to get them. We're going to dump them, we're going to leave them, and they're your problem. They made the choice, well guess what? We made the choice to dump them. And if you do anything to retaliate against us, we will retaliate. To any country, I don't care what country they're from. Every country in the world, if we pick them up and they're illegals, we need to dump them. And say, take them. We don't care if you want to take them or not. Here. And if they're criminals, and they're up for murder or some other very bad crime, alright, we'll keep them. But I guarantee you that short rope and tall tree will be coming in use. They won't be returning home. And you tell the cartel that, hey, if you fire one shot at the American people, you cross the border one time, that's an act of war. And we're coming to get you. Because we're taking care of America first. This is what we need. America first. We need constitutional rights and freedom first. We need our politicians and our DAs to grow a pair, stand up, get rid of these wussy DAs that, no, we'll just put them in jail and we'll just feed them the rest of their life. No. I don't feel like feeding these guys the rest of their life. There was a video I watched the other day. They did a raid on Fulton Prison. The old Fulton, the historical Fulton. Where they came up with all these phones and all this illegal stuff that's supposed to be in prison. How are they getting in there? We know how they're getting in there. Hey, they say drone drops. Not all of it's drone drop. No, the guards are bringing it in. See, the guards need to go to prison if they bring it in. Sorry. Go. Bye. And then also, if inmates are caught with all these deadly weapons, sorry, short rope, tall tree. Trees, man. Sorry, I believe in that. I believe in old school. Send them talk to God. If they're that bad of people, where they had this one video also I was watching. This guy was considered the world's most dangerous person. Why is he still breathing if he's that dangerous? Why? If he's that dangerous, why is he still in this world? Why is he still in this world? Why are we feeding him? Why are we putting our guards at that much of a risk if he's that dangerous? Why? That means he's full of a demonic power. Well, if he's full of demonic, send him back to where he came from. And it's downstairs, it's not upstairs. If you know what I'm talking about. Telling you, stop feeding these people if they've committed murder or hurt a child in so many different ways, or hurt a woman or another man. Telling you, if they got a career and they got a rap sheet, a jacket as the prisons call it, that's a mile long, it's time to take care of that. You're out, you're gone, have a good day. Well, not a good day, because you ain't gonna see no more days. time to get rid of you. We're not feeding you. I'm telling you, man, it's time for tough talks. It's time for people to stand up and tell our politicians enough's enough. Go into these crime-ridden places and start taking the streets back. I'm telling you, these veterans, if you put them out there and you say, hey, here's your constitutional rights, this is how you do it, and you train them right, these veterans will do it right. But if you don't, and you just throw them into a cop car with a bunch of guns and a bunch of equipment without training, you're going to see what's happening now with law enforcement. They're going to be violating rights. So, and then also these First Amendment audits and these police accountability people, they're actually doing something right. They're exposing what a lot of us knew about for years, that cops are corrupt. They don't care about your rights. They don't care about your freedom. They don't care about us. As the song says, it says they don't give a fuck about us. Well, you're right, they don't. So it's time to take that power back as we the people. Take care of America first. Y'all have a good day. God bless.